You are now witnessing a meeting of the Tinfoil Hat Society. Our meetings and our topics are held in secret. The truth has been used against you. We have gathered here to explain the unexplained. The men in black will not stop us.
This is the Tinfoil Hat Society with our guest Josh Time and David Stafford.
Yeah,
This is the Tinfoil Hat Society.
yeah. Yes, it is.
I know it's a Friday, but I know I felt really bad that I couldn't do it on Wednesday, but like
Oh, that's okay. No,
here
you're
we
good.
are, brother. And I wanted to the topic that we're at right now that I like right now. The topic is the Men in Black. And the more I thought about it, is
Yeah.
like I want to do this topic and I want to do it right now. So
Okay.
I wanted you to go with your ideas on it, and then we would roll with it after that. Because I
All
have
right.
my ideas on it too.
You got your ideas too. Yeah. So we did talk about it a little bit in the last episode, which kind of was the whole theory that I talked about with Men in Black being extraterrestrials, if you will, that were researching things was it definitely way out
So
of left field from what I thought of originally of what they were.
so can you please just give me a backstory of what you think it is beside outside of the movie,
The
please.
movie, well, that stuff, yeah. So basically, I would think it would be the outside of the. Are you talking about the Will Smith movie?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, that we can. I do want to get into that at some point, though.
Yeah,
If we
let's
can.
get into that. Yeah, yeah, we
Okay,
got time. We got time.
but we'll get into that. But I would think it's just a kind of a secretive government type group. They just wear black suits. This is why they got the name the Men in Black. They aren't officially called the Men in Black. It's something that society has named them. But I think it's just a group that has connections to actual extraterrestrials on some level. Some people believe they're already here, and they're Men in Black might be the kind of group that maintains that communications to make sure everything stays, I don't know, kind of copacetic here on Earth, if you will.
Okay, well, let me backtrack. And what I originally before the movie ever came out,
Yeah.
the X-Files, I always reference this in our episodes.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the X-Files, the original X-Files movies from or TV show from the 90s, there was a group of an entity that would show up in certain ideologies that would happen or certain situations, and they would discredit the people that saw whatever happened in that instance, and they would try and weirdly discredit what they saw, and basically try and convince them that what they saw was not what they saw,
Wow.
and they would always look weird looking. And
Hmm.
and in one of our previous episodes, you were talking about the Mothman and the guy that was sitting at the table that looked like green and
Yeah.
Asian, I think you had said.
Yeah.
And there's been plenty instances that you were talking about that there were certain people that just did not fit in.
Mhm.
Are these random uh situations? Are these is this the Men in Black when these things happen? Do you think?
But well, yeah. So I would have never have thought of that until I read the Mothman prophecies and
Oh,
then dug
oh,
into
now
it
we're getting
more.
into it. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So my thought always is be, oh, it's just a government group. They kind of control little things here and there, and there's always been extraterrestrials here. We've been using their technology for an Area 51, and we talked about building a certain kind of aircraft and stuff that we technologies went so much faster because of this.
Are we talking
So
about which? What are we talking about? Aircraft?
yeah,
Why am I so much smaller on the top? Are we going back and forth, or what's going on right
I
now?
I think we're going back and forth. That's probably why.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm like on the top of this, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're on top right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm on
Okay.
top on my screen, so it's like
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So go back to aircraft. What are you specifically talking about? Because I'm the resident expert about aircraft.
yeah, I just kind of like the technology in the aircraft at the time, could be what I thought originally was, the Men in Black were the ones that held the communications with the aliens, if you want to just go ahead and call it that. Um, and they gave them the technology for whatever, maybe it's for harvesting humans and, as Cartman would say on South Park, getting an anal probe. I don't know. There's all kinds of different
Oh,
things
an
that I
airplane.
thought of
So
originally.
I wanted to ask you about the article that you sent me. So I
Yeah.
knew about the article, which is in here where I'm at, the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
That is one of the first I in UFO lore. One of the
Yes.
first sightings of the Men in Black, where they discredited what you had saw. And I would like you to bring up that story. You don't have to read it verbatim, but could you um get into that real quick?
Yeah. I mean, what year was it? 1946, something like that. That I should probably pull it up just to make sure I get the right year. But yeah, the first kind of known documented sighting of the Men in Black was in the Pacific Northwest around Puget Sound. I will have to pull it up because I can't remember why. What was the sighting? There's a sighting, and they went to the yeah. Well, this was actually a History Channel, so I'll give that some credit as a History Channel. Um,
No, it's definitely there's
yeah.
several uh actual rules in um institutions that actually reference this exact event. And I know
Yeah.
exactly, because I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I know exactly where this actually happened. So,
hmm Yeah, June 27, 1947. And that it started with a boy, a dog, and a boat, where they saw something that was six donut-shaped obstacles hovering above a half mile above his boat. He did get some pictures of it, and after the story got big, it was the government right away deemed it as a hoax, and there was different incarnations of the Men in Black. Um, Basically, they were there just to keep the witnesses quiet, but they always wore black suits, hats, dark sunglasses, drove black cars, and they were always in
mm,
groups of two or three.
mm.
Um, they kind of described them as like an FBI agent, but they also had strange appearances, sometimes with supernatural features like glowing eyes and strange complexions.
Okay.
So that was kind of
So, in the beginning, when we do the beginning of this episode, I'll do a backtrack in this actual the actual story that you're
okay.
referencing. But what I would like to go get into, because we've gotten into this every episode, like, what do you think?
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you think it actually
Uh,
is?
well, like I was saying, like obviously when you're younger, you think of when you hear about the Men in Black, you think of something a certain way,
Usually
but
a
then you
movie
hear,
when you're younger.
yeah, but then you, well, what is the Men in Black? And then you become curious, and of course, we had minds when we were younger. I was trying to delve into the unknown and whatever. But when I
Mm.
came across, the idea that, well, they're not human, they could be some sort of other entity or anything.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't even know if I would.
But I mean,
I don't know if I
I
could.
think in one of our previous episodes, you were talking about that you think that they correlate with the deep state, or an in state entity, that we don't know about.
Well, I mean, anybody with an open mind that is okay with being called crazy every once in a while, just kind of, you just know that there's something bigger going on that we are not
Mm,
privy to see. There's
sure.
not. There's a lot of things we don't know, and we never will, and we shouldn't probably.
Mm,
But could it be? I think they're just a part of that. I don't think they're like the main thing of whatever's going on, but definitely a part of
mm.
the bigger picture that we just don't know.
Do
And
you
it's
think
just a
they're
thought. I don't have any proof on it.
do you think they're
Um,
aliens?
I
Come
don't.
on.
I don't
You
think
don't
they
think
are.
they're aliens?
Nope. I think they could possibly be something else that we don't know. I mean, it could
Because on
be
our previous episodes, you thought that they might be aliens.
there. Well, I could say that they quite possibly could be something otherworldly in combination with human DNA, or it could be
Oh wow,
something
we're
else.
getting oh wow, I want to get into that. Yeah,
Yeah,
what do you
or I
think?
mean, but it
Yeah,
could be
what do you
like I
come
said,
up
we
with
don't
that?
know. But the thing I
Hmm.
have a problem with is like whenever things are closed up and you have questions. I mean, we can go on and
Hmm.
you just get banned from Twitter and Facebook and everything else for even
Oh yeah,
asking
yeah,
a question.
and I think in all of our episodes, I want to at the end, I always even though we were all about conspiracy realists, but I always want to at the end of our episodes always be like, well, what this is what actually we think, and this is what the facts show us, and
Hmm.
that's what our previous episodes have shown us. And like, with what my job shows me and what your life experiences have showed you.
Yeah.
Um so what back to what we're talking about,
Hmm.
like realistically, with let's take the tinfoil hat off. What do you think?
I think it's just people that are hallucinating.
Mm, mm,
I mean, there's so many movies, and let's tie into the movies for a second.
mm,
To be
mm.
honest, how many movies are there on specific topics that you see so many times that you automatically become an expert on? And then when you see
Like
something like
every
that
movie, like
in
literally
real
every movie,
life,
they're like, I know exactly what
oh,
happened in that instance because I saw that movie.
yeah, exactly. And I think there is a different thing, and this is a whole nother episode where I think a lot of movies are preparing you for something, whatever that
Oh
might
well,
be.
that's a whole other, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to it, you've seen so many alien movies all the way through the 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way till now. There's still more coming out. They're always going to be made, and I mean, I think they even took a poll where I think the majority of the United States population believes that it believes in UFOs and extraterrestrials.
Okay, so if you
Yeah.
so we can segue into another episode, but 60% of it's I think it's like actually you can fact check that me on this, but like I think it's 60 or 64% of the US population think there's some sort of stuff going on with the Kennedy assassination, where the idea of conspiracy uh theory came out. Um, and when it comes down to like people not, just questioning everything, that's where that actually started. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's so many things like what that's why you and me, are questioning everything realistically. You know,
Yeah, and it's just asking questions because if you have any, and I don't know, do they still teach critical thinking in public schools?
I don't know what they're teaching in
Yeah,
public schools
I
anymore.
don't, I'm gonna start learning soon, but not for me personally, but I have kids in school. But the thought to not be able to ask a question or even like just use your imagination on the possibilities of things, because I think there could be any realm of possibilities of things because not everything is in our control. So
Well,
there's a higher,
back with
I believe in a higher power, and I believe that anything is definitely out of our control. And we see things, we question them.
I think
I,
I think I'll go into the story, not the movie, because the movie is fun. We like the movies. I mean, and
Mhm.
they're
Oh yeah,
fun. But I think this is the third time I've referenced this. But in the X-Files, there is an episode where they reference the Men in Black, and there's this guy that shows up. He comes shows up in a weird black car and comes into this dude's garage, and he has black uh wired frame glasses, and he basically just credits everything the guy says and then keeps nodding his head. And that was like this weird episode, but it was so cool. If you ever get a chance, go check it out. Like literally the first, like, I don't know, it was like, what was it, the first like six seasons of the X-Files were like actually pretty good. When they started getting a little weird after that, and not that cool, but they referenced a lot of cool stuff.
yeah.
The first like 4 or 6 seasons. But yeah, definitely they did. And I think they call them the Watchers in the X-Files. Do you remember those guys?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
Which were basically like what we are essentially.
basically.
Except we're not computer nerds.
Are you talking about the group of guys, the lone
Yeah,
gunman?
it was like 3 dudes that basically listened
Yeah,
to Coast to Coast and
it's the
had
lone
really
gunman.
that that's it, the
Yeah,
lone gunman. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Which yeah, basically had way better computer skills than you and me do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We can't even get the sound to work sometimes. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I was like so excited for this episode. Like I didn't get to do it on Wednesday. Some things came up, but I kept thinking about it. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
yeah.
And I'm so glad you did it. And so there's so many things we get into this. Like, I mean, there's obviously a political ideal into
Mhm.
this, you know. Um, People throw out the idea of the deep state. I Obviously with my job, I cannot confirm or deny or really even get into that. But you can, of course. But um, but what do you even have an opinion on that? When it comes to the two, really?
Not nothing. Not a major. Like I said, there could be so many things that like I said at the beginning, that we just we're never gonna know unless you're a part of it. So it's
Mm.
just kind of like that's why Hollywood makes these things. So I think the best way to keep people from talking about it is to just hide it and what do they say? They hide it in plain sight.
I didn't play inside. Yeah, yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, here you go. This is what's really happening. It's in the movies, everything.
It
I
was
don't know.
it was in my mind today, and I was gonna bring it up to you. Do you remember or um have you ever heard about uh the Philadelphia, I think it was a Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, the Acorn uh what do you call it? Where the UFO fell from the sky and crash landed. I think it was in Philadelphia or
It was in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Was that Kecksburg?
Think so, yeah. I mean, I'd have to like bring it up, but
Might be
have you looked
Kecksburg.
into any of that?
I may have at one point, but not recently. No. Mm-mm. Yeah, I think that might have been Kecksburg. That was there. There's a few History Channel episodes on that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, there. I mean, I'll pull it up here in a second. But the biggest thing in that is there was all of these civilian people that counted that they all saw weird hieroglyphs, as they could say, on the side of that
No.
on the side of that um object that fell. And the weird thing about it, like the
Can't see
oh
it.
yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, no.
Goodness gracious.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a model of the alleged object that looks like an acorn and has all the drawings on the
mhm,
side of it.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
They have like a model there, and apparently they have a UFO festival there every year. Yeah.
That
How
sounds
quickly you
fun.
can find information these days. Thank you, technology.
I mean, the internet is great and also terrible at the same time.
Yeah,
When it
it
when
can
it
be
comes to
so many bad things, but so many good things too. It's
when it
crazy.
comes to the amount of misinformation and people telling you that the Earth is not flat. By the way, the Earth is round. By the way, for all you people that are out
It
there,
is a
the
sphere.
Earth is definitely round. It's If you look at any other object in the entire rest of the galaxy, they're all a ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Earth is not flat. Sorry to scare you. Anyway,
What? What?
yeah,
Oh
there's
man,
yeah,
Kyrie Irving's going to be so upset with you now.
I Look at the moon. Oh, so this episode was about to be the moon, and the moon's a lot of things, but you didn't want to do the moon, and I wasn't that excited about it, but I was excited about this episode. Just because your ideal of the or back to what we were talking about is the Men in Black, like you were the one that always brought it up to me, because we've been friends for years, and you're the first person to be like, oh no, the Men in Black are they're aliens, dude.
Mhm.
And I'd be like, what? That's a movie,
Yeah.
man. And then he went into these stories, these different stories where they were like, no, man, these Men in Black, they're trying to like misinformation you to get the story not out. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? And then, I saw the X-Files episode that I referenced earlier, but like, yeah,
Mhm.
man, like that's interesting. It's really interesting to me. Like,
Mhm.
the more I thought about it, and
Yeah.
especially the article that you sent me that when I started this episode, I'll show the actual article. Um and you said it was 1947 or something,
7. Yeah.
45 yeah.
1947.
um that happened here where I actually live
Yeah.
in the
That's
Pacific
what I thought was
Northwest.
interesting too. I was like, oh, he's right up in there.
Yeah, yeah. That there's so many and we'll reference some other articles about the Pacific Northwest because I actually live here. But like, yeah, that essentially happened here. And that is definitely if you ask like people here, like, they bring up that story. Definitely. It's definitely
Mhm.
in the UFO lore or the UFO lore here. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
that's cool. Yeah.
Whether or not, I mean, maybe we can get in this segment where whether or not I believe it. Um, It's so hard, man. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think somebody's they go through like a traumatic experience somehow and they think that's what they see, and then it could be any number of things. But I honestly I haven't read like eyewitness statements or anything of the actual situations, so to even dig into it.
I did tell you that I think that maybe MUFON told you that was what happened, so that MUFON could actually was an Asian
Yeah,
of
well, I can tell you that after after speaking with MUFON, I did not get a visit from the Men in Black, so that I know of.
allegedly
Yeah,
you did not get a visit.
I was wondering why that guy was following me around so much that night. Should have stayed
Mm,
inside.
wait, somebody followed you around that night?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I did go out and go down to the beach to see if I get a better view of him, but
Was there
um,
anybody down there?
oh,
Have you
there's
ever
people.
seen the movie
No,
The Pelican Brief? Because it sounds
uh,
like the same thing.
yeah, I should probably stayed inside.
Sounds sounds
That's
interesting.
yeah, that's probably like
Yeah,
10 years.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, just like the Bigfoot, like it's fun,
Yeah,
super
yeah,
fun story. But other than a bunch of Ring camera videos that somebody posted online, like, hey, this is the Men in Black, like, I don't care, dude. I don't care. That's not real.
no.
Or yeah, maybe it is real. I don't care. Like that doesn't make me think that there's some weird entity that just handles that.
Yeah.
There was the TV show in the 90s. It was like Alien. Oh God, I can't even think of what it was called. Like Alien Nation or something like that, where like
Oh yeah.
aliens are essentially a part of like human society. Like
Yeah. Hmm.
if that was true, I think you would know it. Just
Well,
like
no.
with our previous episode with
Yeah.
the Bigfoot, like I think you would see bones. Like if that was happening, and like I think you would I think that if there was like Men in Black going to people's front doors, I think you would see it more often. I don't know, that maybe that's just me. I don't
Well,
know.
they do make you forget.
Oh, so maybe they made you forget, and you don't actually know what
Well,
you're
I still
talking
remember
about.
the whole situation, so there's other ones I've seen they never.
That makes me think. That makes me think, Wime Time. You
Hmm,
don't actually know what you're talking about because they erased your memory.
maybe so.
Could they have potentially put something into your memory?
I don't know. I always wondered though if what would happen if you had, because there are people, and this is like a different thing because we could talk about alien abductions at some other
Mm.
thing.
Yeah, we
Um,
talked about it earlier before.
but just to put that on the map, on the radar, what I always thought it would be weird if like you got abducted per se, and I'm not saying that those really happen. I mean, they may, but it could also be some mental thing, and not to discredit anybody. Of course, I'd like to hear uh, eyewitness stories and hear what they have to say. That'd be awesome. But at the same time, if you how they use surgical tools on you and things, what if something broke off and
Mm,
stayed in you?
mm,
And there are people
mm,
that have claimed they have X-rays of broken off pieces, and they took them out. And they don't know what that metal is.
mm.
It'd be something to look into
I
for
mean,
sure.
there recently there's been claims again from Mexico. We talked about this in previous episodes, which we don't actually believe what they were talking about because we showed the
Are you talking about the little aliens again?
uh, little aliens, but they
They're like they're
again.
made from paper mache. It's like,
Yes, but they recently, it was like a week ago, they said that they have like metal that they found in the bottom of the ocean or something. I don't know. Just ridiculous.
so,
Nobody believes them, and that's where I'm at with all this, like um I don't believe it. I don't believe it because they're like this has happened. I'm like when the government tells you something happens, I don't believe it, basically.
no. But please do me a favor. If you're anywhere and you are like at a party shop or something and you see a pinata shaped like one of those little aliens, please take a picture
That would be
because they,
so awesome.
they look like little pinatas.
That'd be so awesome. Like, I think we should make that. That'd be
Dude,
really cool. We should sell that.
yeah. The Mexican alien pinata.
Mm, that sounds so bad. Yeah. Mm,
Well, it's not my
mm.
fault it was in Mexico, geez.
Yeah, and when you see that picture, like back to that, like that's not a part of what we're talking about, but like it's just
No.
ridiculous. Like it doesn't even look remotely real. Not even remotely. Just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And if it was real, and it's again, it's just another one of those you know, one of those things to kind of throw you distract you in a way, I guess, from real things going on. So maybe this story came out during a time and there's something we totally missed at the same time. That's a possibility as
Okay.
well.
So let's bring this up. The movie. They made three of them. They're all actually pretty good movies. Um,
They made
but
three. You're not counting wasn't there a fourth?
oh, there really was a fourth one. The fourth, have you seen that one? It's not really good
Uh,
at all. It's not good.
no,
Terrible.
I have
Liam
not heard good
Hemsworth is
things.
in it. It's really bad. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
played
have not.
Thor. Not
Liam.
good.
Oh, it's Chris.
Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Liam
Is it?
Hemsworth
Is
is
that
Thor.
another Chris? God, there's so many Chris's.
Yeah, so many
Anyway.
Hemsworths. Man, basically. But the original, the first one,
Oh yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
amazing. First one's really good.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I mean, I think that was made in '99 or '97. Well, I know there's a big difference between '99 and
Oh, I
'97,
was
but
still in
yeah,
high school for sure.
yeah, I was definitely in high school. I watched it on VHS, from a tape that I got from Blockbuster.
Yeah, boy. I have in one of my boxes over here. I don't know. I might. I got like 200 VHS tapes still.
Do you still have two VHS tapes?
Yeah, I got three VCRs sitting right here.
Get out of here, dude. I still don't like I was thinking about actually getting a VHS tape. Yeah.
Got to do
Or
old
or an
school.
actual receiver. Yeah. No, so I just got in, or I've always been in. You knew that I was always into a vinyl. I still have vinyl.
Hmm.
Um which again, shout out to uh Coast to Coast because I was into that, and then you were really into it back in the day.
Hmm.
And you and me one night, we were just like, it was like 2 in the morning. We were listening to it. Which Coast to Coast, I think, were like the originators. With Art Bell before George Norway. Art Bell, rest in
George
peace.
Norway. Did
Yeah,
you say
rest in peace.
Norway?
um, which they were the originators of these kind of ideas,
Yeah.
of, like, the people like us, like, talking about stuff like that people aren't allowed to or will not let you talk about, essentially.
Yeah. It was weird when you listened to it the first time too back then, because they're like, wow, they're really taking this stuff seriously. And they gave everybody a platform to talk and then ridicule anybody, which made it so much more intriguing to listen to that
Exactly,
show.
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I mean, my work schedule's way different now, so I don't listen to it at all now. I get on the website once a
So
month,
I listen. I don't listen to them, but I follow them on Facebook, which is stupid. I don't like Facebook, but like I can see their articles that they post, and they have videos, and they actually had some pretty interesting articles they would post about people trying to get into Area 51. You should check that out sometime.
but oh, that's cool.
That can be a whole other episode actually about that. Yeah, it,
Yeah.
very interesting. Um, yeah, because there's definitely some weird stuff going on with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in this episode, we're still talking about the Men in Black. In your travel back to Texas, you stopped at a place called Roswell, New
I
Mexico.
did. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was not fun. I had two kids that were tired and didn't let me do anything. But no, no, honestly, though, it was cool to go through it. I did go to the museum there, the UFO International Museum. Then I took the kids and the wife and my sister-in-law back to the hotel. Then I went, because you buy a pass, it's good for all day. So I took them back and I went back by myself and got
Did
to,
you go to the crash site?
I did not, no. Well, you can't go
Mm.
to it because it's on private property.
I thought they did a tour or something.
No, unfortunately, they
Mm.
don't.
Mm.
I did inquire about that.
So when I went there,
Hmm.
I'll get into the story. I was driving through there. I was coming from Washington on my way to South Texas,
Hmm.
and we went through Roswell, New Mexico. And about an hour or two before, my wife told me, she was like, "Hey, the tire pressure is going out on one of our tires." And I was like, "Ah, well, it's probably fine because new age um uh cars tell you that." And I was like, "That's probably fine." And by the time we got to Roswell, New Mexico, she's like, "Hey, we need to look in this tire." And I was like, "But all the stuff's going on. There's this McDonald's that has like alien figures
Yeah.
outside of it. You've sent me those pictures. There's like hotels and like it's a
Mhm.
whole tourist town, like with mainly like one main street that goes straight through the town. And
Mhm.
she was like, "No, we need to get this taken care of." So there's a discount tire
Mhm.
in Roswell, New Mexico. She's like, "Well, let's go to this place. Like, we need to get this taken care of because we still had to go. We still had plenty of stuff to do." And she did this for me. She wanted to take me to Roswell, New Mexico. But at that time, we were like, "Well, we probably should get this tire taken care of." So we went to Discount Tire, and no problems with Discount Tire. But we were there for like 3 hours
Yeah.
getting a tire fixed. And what I think the Men in Black knew that I was going to find out the truth. They knew I was
Yeah.
going to go to this crash site. They knew I was
Yeah.
going to find out the truth. They knew that I was going to put all these different things together. They knew I would like put the pins on the board and they knew I would like link it all together. But all they had to do was put a screw in my tire.
Yeah.
And I waited
Yeah.
3 hours to get that screw out of my tire and get a new tire. And by that
Yeah.
time, I just had to leave that whole city. And the Men in Black did what they were supposed to do. They got rid of
Yeah.
me. They got rid of the truth, and there was no truth. The truth
You
did
took care
not
of the
get set them
Roswell
free.
truth just like that.
And that is a absolutely true story. You
Yeah.
can look it up. You can try and discredit me, but that actually happened.
Yeah. You have the receipts to prove it.
I really literally do. And when I left that place, I did not even get nearly as cool of the story that you had. Like you have way more pictures of that place than I do. Like
Mhm.
I was just like pissed off that I had to like go spend all this
Yeah.
money at at a discount tire company that the Men in Black actually run or allegedly run, maybe.
You should remind me next time. I'll send you photos of the affidavits of everybody that gave witness statements of the Roswell crash. That's pretty cool. They're good reads.
Well, that sounds like a different episode.
Maybe
Mm.
that's the next one we do.
Oh yeah, and yeah, like we should like we have 3 minutes left. Yeah. There's certain I think we should do episodes like because we were gonna do the moon, but like
Mm.
I think I know way more about it than you do, and like I'm not even
I just know it's there. I like to take pictures of it.
and it's not as exciting as like I think like it's not I mean I don't think it's like as fun as like you think is or that I think it is, but like I think it's way more exciting when we talk about the subjects like we're talking about right now that
Mhm.
we both know about. And we can I guess we can't do a second episode about the Men in Black because we pretty much like, pretty much debunked this.
It's something will
Or
come up.
or not
We'll talk
debunk
about it another time.
or not debunk this because they silenced us in the first place.
Hmm.
But the next episode we'll figure it out. I do want to do a episode about zombies. Mm. And that episode I would like to have a special guest, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it off air. But why don't you wrap this up in what your ideas of what the actual like what you think it is.
With the Men in Black.
Mm.
I mean, they could be just FBI agents investigating things.
Mm.
I mean, as for an alien entities, I don't know. And if it was, they erase your mind anyway. So
I would actually like to do an episode just on portals. Because a little bit into that. Um, So on the ship, we will watch Ancient Aliens, and just about every Ancient Aliens episode, they're like, "Hey, maybe this thing came out of a portal."
yeah,
And it was like this show on I don't remember what I think it's Discovery or History Channel. It's the same thing in my opinion, but like it was like the Alaskan Triangle, and they're like, "Hey, this thing came out of a portal." And
yep,
this guy that worked for me, he was from uh Jamaica. Yeah, he was from Jamaica. He was like, "Why are all these episodes about something come out of a portal?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm just watching this." But like, he made a good point. It was like, so like they didn't know really what was happening, but they just equated it all like, "Well, I don't know what's happening, but it must have come out of a portal."
yep. So, but we're gonna have to end it there because it's about to shut off on us and go straight down the portal.
Well, maybe that's what they wanted.
That's probably exactly what they wanted. Flush us down the portal putty,
Um,
like in Fortnite.
well, Mr. Josh Time, thank you for this. I
Yes, sir.
thank you on a Friday night that you didn't want to do this, but I appreciate you, and this was fun.
Yes, sir. Till we talk again in the Tin Foil Hat Society.